Happening tonight in Dalton, village officials there are planning to hold two separate meetings.
So for months, Mayor Tiffany Henyard has been at the center of scandals and lawsuits. Our Regina Waldrop is joining us live with some of the details. Regina, you've been covering this story for months. This could be a confusing night for residents with these dueling meetings.
Well, it could, Alex, because we have Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard set to hold a village board meeting here at Village Hall.
Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dalton, Illinois, finds herself at the center of a political firestorm, facing serious allegations of corruption, abuse of power, and financial mismanagement. Once regarded as a rising star in local politics, Henyard is now under intense scrutiny for reasons far removed from her previous public service achievements. Her sudden downfall has sent shockwaves through the community, leaving citizens and political analysts questioning the integrity of the town's leadership. Henyard, who made history as Dalton's first female mayor, has been no stranger to controversy since her election. Critics have long accused her of mismanagement, ethical violations, and an autocratic governing style. However, recent developments have escalated these concerns, with allegations surfacing that she used her position for personal gain. This has raised serious questions about ethical standards in Dalton's government and the potential misuse of taxpayer funds for private benefit. The situation took a dramatic turn with the unexpected involvement of Henyard's romantic partner, who has become a central figure in the controversy. In a shocking courtroom revelation, Henyard's boyfriend reportedly testified against her, providing incriminating details of widespread misconduct. Under oath, he exposed personal financial transactions, questionable decisions, and instances in which Henyard allegedly abused her power for personal enrichment. According to court documents, Henyard's boyfriend testified that she diverted municipal funds for extravagant vacations, luxury shopping sprees, and other non-governmental expenses. He further claimed that she awarded lucrative contracts to businesses owned by friends and family, bypassing local procurement laws and ethical standards. Perhaps most damaging of all, he alleged that Henyard accepted bribes from local contractors and developers in exchange for favorable treatment, prioritizing private interests over the well-being of Dalton's residents. His testimony sent shockwaves through the courtroom, with witnesses describing Henyard's visible distress as the revelations unfolded. At one point, she erupted into a furious outburst, shouting at her boyfriend and interrupting the proceedings. Her emotional reaction only added to the drama, fueling speculation about her potential guilt and drawing significant media attention. Public reaction was swift and intense. Social media platforms exploded with criticism as outraged Dalton residents called for her immediate resignation. Legal experts suggest that if the allegations are proven true, Henyard could face severe consequences, including criminal charges, financial penalties, and possible removal from office. The scandal has left many in the community feeling betrayed by a leader they once trusted. Residents are now demanding accountability and transparency, calling for a full investigation into Henyard's actions. Many urge local officials to take swift and decisive action to restore public trust in the government. The political fallout has been significant, with several Dalton City Council members, once seen as Henyard's allies, now distancing themselves from her. Some have even publicly called for her resignation, arguing that her continued presence in office undermines the integrity of local government. Even some of Henyard's most loyal supporters, who had previously defended her, now seem uncertain about where they stand, further fracturing her support base. Meanwhile, her defense team has attempted to discredit the allegations, claiming that she is the target of a politically motivated attack orchestrated by her rivals. Henyard's defense team argues that the timing of these accusations, just months before a major election, is no coincidence. They claim her political opponents are using the scandal as a strategy to undermine her campaign. Henyard's supporters echo this defense, urging the public not to rush to judgment and insisting that she deserves a fair trial before being condemned in the court of public opinion. However, with mounting legal challenges and increasing public backlash, it remains uncertain whether Henyard will be able to weather the storm. The investigation into her alleged misconduct is ongoing, and more revelations are expected to surface in the coming weeks. As the case unfolds, the public remains captivated by the details of Henyard's alleged corruption, with many questions still unanswered. One of the most striking aspects of the case has been the role played by Henyard's romantic partner, who was once part of her inner circle. His testimony, which directly incriminated Henyard, has dealt a devastating blow to her defense and shattered the image of unity among her closest allies. What was once seen as a tightly knit team now appears fractured, with mistrust and division looming over Henyard's camp. The public's perception of Henyard has shifted dramatically. The allegations paint a damning picture of corruption and unethical behavior, leaving many Dalton residents feeling betrayed. Once proud of her trailblazing role as the town's first female mayor, they now express disappointment and disillusionment. As the accusations mount, the damage to Henyard's public image may already be irreversible, even if she is ultimately exonerated in a court of law. Beyond the political ramifications, the fallout from the scandal has raised serious concerns about the long-term stability of Dalton's finances. Allegations of financial mismanagement have cast a dark cloud over the town's economic future, with residents fearing that Henyard's alleged misuse of taxpayer funds could have lasting consequences. As more details emerge, political observers warn that the scandal could have far-reaching effects on Dalton's entire political landscape. If Henyard is found guilty, the town may face a leadership crisis, with growing calls for an early election or the appointment of an interim mayor to restore stability and public confidence. The courtroom scene during Henyard's boyfriend's A's testimony was described as tense, with shocking revelations coming rapidly. Henyard's visible distress only reinforced the perception that the allegations had struck a nerve. At one point, she erupted into a furious outburst, shouting at her boyfriend and attempting to interrupt the proceedings. This emotional reaction became a focal point of media coverage, further fueling speculation about her guilt. Social media quickly exploded with criticism, as many Dalton residents demanded Henyard's immediate resignation, calling for an end to the political turmoil that has engulfed the town. As the case against her strengthens, the stakes could not be higher. If found guilty of corruption, Henyard could face not only the end of her political career, but also legal consequences, including criminal charges, financial penalties, and even imprisonment. Beyond her personal fate, the scandal has raised broader concerns about the integrity of Dalton's local government and the potential long-term impact on the town's political future. Henyard's situation remains fluid, with the investigation ongoing and more revelations expected to come to light. Her legal team is working tirelessly to defend her, but with each passing day, public patience continues to wear thin. Once seen as a promising political figure, Tiffany Henyard's career now hangs in the balance. Whether she can clear her name and restore her reputation remains uncertain. What is clear, however, is that the people of Dalton will not rest until they have answers, and the political fallout from this scandal will likely reverberate for years to come.
With an eviction lawsuit, NBC5 has obtained a copy of an eviction notice filed in Cook County Court. It names Henyard and her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, who is a voter.
Tiffany Henyard's political downfall now seems inevitable, as those closest to her turn against her. Federal investigators appear to be capitalizing on this shift, with rumors circulating that Henyard's boyfriend, Kamal Woods, is now in custody, and providing crucial information about her alleged corrupt dealings. With each new revelation, the extent of the misconduct within her inner circle becomes more apparent. Nearly everyone around her seems entangled in federal fraud and theft cases, making this a rapidly escalating situation. Perhaps the most shocking aspect of this scandal is how quickly Kamal Woods allegedly betrayed Henyard. Given the circumstances, it's hard to blame him. If Tiffany is facing serious jail time, cooperating with authorities likely seems like his best chance to protect himself, and more importantly, their child. The big question now is what role Kamal played in all of this and why he is being targeted. To fully understand the situation, it's important to break it down. For years, Tiffany Henyard managed to stay under the radar by surrounding herself with equally dubious associates, creating a network of scapegoats who would absorb the blame while she remained untouchable. As the mayor of Dalton, she allegedly orchestrated a series of unethical activities, but her house of cards began to collapse when she suddenly disappeared from the public eye, leaving many questioning her whereabouts. Rumors suggested she was laying low, hoping the investigation would die down before making a grand return, as though nothing had happened. However, her belief in being untouchable proved to be her biggest mistake. She assumed she had built a system in which her loyal circle of associates would protect her, even at their own expense. But she underestimated federal investigators, who strategically applied pressure, causing her allies to turn on her one by one. As her options dwindled, even those closest to her saw no choice but to save themselves at her expense. The most damaging betrayal came from none other than her boyfriend, Kamal Woods. When he realized that his own freedom was at stake, he didn't hesitate to turn on Henyard. Faced with the prospect of imprisonment, his decision to cooperate with authorities may have been the only way to secure his future. Once faced with the possibility of ending up behind bars himself, Kamal Woods began talking, and fast. What makes this betrayal even more shocking is that Kamal Woods is no ordinary boyfriend. He is deeply tied to many of the questionable dealings that have landed Tiffany Henyard in the hot seat. Court documents from her divorce have officially named him as her partner, But his influence in Henyard's inner circle goes far beyond their romantic relationship. His willingness to cooperate with authorities suggests that his hands are far from clean. It's likely that Kamal played a significant role in the web of corruption that investigators are now unraveling. By cooperating with federal authorities, he is likely hoping to reduce his own liability. His testimony and the evidence he provides could be the final blow to Tiffany's political career, and potentially her freedom. Federal authorities appear to have known exactly how to dismantle Henyard's protective circle, strategically targeting those closest to her. They have created a domino effect in which each person, faced with legal repercussions, has opted to cooperate rather than take the fall for the embattled mayor. The strategy has worked flawlessly. As Henyard's allies crumble, she now finds herself with nowhere to hide. Those who once stood by her are now testifying against her, exposing a web of fraud, financial mismanagement, and abuse of power that has shaken the town of Dalton. The investigation has revealed just how deep the ETOM's corruption runs. It is becoming increasingly clear that Henyard's entire operation relied on a system that was only effective as long as her allies remained loyal. However, when the pressure mounted, self-preservation took priority, and the loyalty she once depended on quickly unraveled. As the case continues to unfold, the public watches with anticipation, wondering just how much more will be uncovered. What is undeniable, though, is that Tiffany Henyard's once formidable political empire is collapsing, and her closest allies have now become her greatest liabilities. With Kamal Woods allegedly cooperating and offering incriminating evidence, Tiffany's ability to escape the consequences of her actions looks increasingly unlikely. Whether she faces a lengthy prison sentence or the complete destruction of her political career, one thing is certain: the era of Tiffany Henyard is rapidly coming to an end. The real question now is how much more damage will be exposed before the final chapter is written.